Chapter 7, Eating Out. Annie kept smiling at the gorilla. "Wow," she said. "Wow, wow, wow." "Didn't you know you were sleeping next to them?" Jess asked. "No," she said. "When you didn't come back, Bubba led me here. But I couldn't see anything. It was too dark." Just then, Bubba left her mother's arms and bounded over to Annie. She climbed into Annie's lap and hugged her. Another small gorilla left his mother and ran over to Annie, too. He was about the size of a 2-year-old kid. "Ho, ho," he said. He gave Annie a playful poke. "Ho, ho yourself," said Annie. "Is Ho, ho your name?" She tickled Ho, ho. She tickled Bubba, too. The two gorillas made laughing sounds and fell onto their backs. The two mother gorillas laughed, too. "Ha, ha, ha," they said. Jack felt a little jealous. He wanted the gorillas to like him as well, but he didn't know how to join in the fun. So he just sighed and pulled out his notebook. He added to his gorilla behavior list. Gorillas like to tickle and laugh. Suddenly he heard a low growl. He looked up. The silverback had moved closer to him. He was glaring. "That big guy doesn't understand what you're doing," Annie called to Jack. "He's never seen anyone take notes before." Jack quickly put his notebook away. The giant gorilla huffed. Then he turned to his family and gave a short bark. The gorillas began lining up behind the silverback. The baby traveled in his mother's arm. Ho-Ho traveled on his mother's back. Bubba and Annie held hands. They all followed the silverback out of the clearing. "Come on," Annie called to Jack. "Let's go with Big Guy in the game." Jack shook his head. "I don't think they want me to come along," he said. Bubba screeched at Jack. She held out her free hand to him. "Bubba wants you," said Annie. Jack smiled shyly. He took Bubba's small, warm hand. Then he walked with Annie and the gorillas out of the clearing. On their ramble through the cloud forest, the gorillas found food everywhere. They munched flowers and ferns and leaves. They swallowed and burped. They munched twigs and branches and pieces of bark and bamboo, and they swallowed and burped. As the gorillas ate breakfast, it started to rain again, but they didn't seem to mind. Annie didn't seem to mind either. She and Bubba played tag in the drizzly woods, and they ran around the trees laughing and screeching. Jack tried to follow them, but he gave up. He was tired and cold, shivering. He stood under a mossy tree to keep dry. While he was alone, Jack sneaked his notebook out of the pack. He made a new list. Gorilla foods. Flowers, ferns, leaves, twigs, bark, branches, bamboo. As he wrote, he heard a loud growl. He looked up. Big Guy had spotted him. The silverback was standing close by. He was frowning at Jack, his lips tucked in a little tight line. Sorry, said Jack. He quickly put away his notebook. Big Guy kept frowning. Jack quickly tried to act like a gorilla. He went down on all fours. He tore off the leaf of a plant, and he took a bite. It tasted bitter, like vinegar. Jack pretended to munch and swallow and burp, and Big Guy huffed, then moved on. As soon as he was gone, Jack spat out the leaf. Yuck, 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 he said, wiping his tongue. Jack felt a tap on his back, and he jumped, but it was just Ho-Ho. The small gorilla offered him a twig to eat. "Oh, no, thanks, Ho-Ho," said Jack. Ho-Ho kept holding out the twig. "Oh, okay," said Jack politely, taking it. "I'll eat it later." And he put the twig in his bag. Ho-Ho's mother came over to Jack, and she held out some berries to the lips. No thanks," Jack said, and the gorilla stared at him with a sad look. "Okay," said Jack. He opened his mouth, and Ho-Ho's mother fed him the berries. Jack munched the berries. To his surprise, they tasted good, and he swallowed, then burped just like a gorilla. This time he wasn't pretending. Bubba's mom then came over to Jack. She offered him some rainwater from a cup to plant. Jack was very thirsty, and he sipped the water. It tasted fresh and cold. Bubba's mom took Jack's hand in her wide hand. She led him through the forest to Annie and Bubba. Bubba screeched happily when she saw Jack. She threw her furry arms around him. "Hi, we've missed you," Annie said to Jack. "Are you having fun?" Jack smiled and nodded. Actually, he was having fun now. He didn't mind the rain so much anymore. He didn't feel so left out. Some of the gorillas really seemed to like him, he thought. They seemed to like him a lot.